Guess who's hungover? I've been super fortunate throughout my life to have gotten the opportunity to travel a lot. I've been in bands for, God, almost 10 years now, which is toured the country, saw a lot of shit. Here's some stories. Right to the point. First story, I want to say this is probably like 4, not 5, at least 4 years ago. We're on tour with this band. We're coming from the West Coast, I think Arizona, and we're going to Texas. To give you some context, both of our bands were riding in the same van and using the same trailer for all this gear. So it was a 15-passenger van with like 18 people in it, a trailer holding 2 bands worth of gear, which is super dangerous. Don't do this. So basically we're leaving one of the bandmates' parents' house that we stayed at in Arizona. Mom was like, you know, don't take the 5. I don't know if it's the 5, I don't want to look. But I guess there's this one highway that kind of winds along the border of Mexico when you're going to Texas. At this time when we were about to make the drive from Arizona to Texas, there had been a lot of like border flare up where the cartel had found some undercover DEA agents or just like people that were like spying on or were actively working against the cartel. They'd found them undercover, had killed them and crucified them on telephone poles all along this highway as a big fuck you to the United States. So we obviously were a little nervous. The mom had warned us. It was like, seriously guys, it's not safe right now. People get kidnapped on this highway all the time, like whatever. We're driving. By the time we get to this point in the highway, it's like 2, 3 in the morning. We're literally like on the highway and Mexico is right there. It's not like, oh, I can kind of see Mexico is right there. It was kind of creepy because out in the night you could see like campfires along the border, because I guess there's like vigilante border patrol, like just these dudes that own farms and shit. Their good time that they have on a Friday night is they get together and get really fucking hammered and go out with guns and see if they can fucking catch any people trying to go over the border. To each his own. So we're like seeing headlights of Jeeps like driving along the border, campfires, you can make out people. Just kind of scary because you know they're probably armed. And, well, oh, all right. Shut up, Mom. We are driving into mountains, like a mountainous region, and after a little bit, we're up really high, and we're going along this like windy road, up and down grades. 15-passenger vans are not really meant to do what we do to them in bands, where you're like, oh yeah, 50, 60,000 miles in a year, towing a bunch of fucking people in their gear, like, it'll work. So we're going up and down grades. This van had already had a lot of abuse on it. My dad was actually driving the van at the time. Everyone was like 4 people deep on each row bench of this van, just miserable. This is how we almost died. First time ever on the road. Someone's watching Zero Dark 30 behind me. I'm just sitting there, I think on Twitter, just trying to not lose my goddamn mind, because also our AC didn't work. Basically, I guess we started going down a grade where the friction was so hard on the brakes that the brakes gave out on the van while we're going downhill on a mountain. I just remember the van just started shaking, just We're coming up to like a bend in the road. It's a drop. It's a drop off, right? Like we're death.
Say dada.
Death!
Dada.
Domination!
I remember the light flickering in the van because of a shitty connection. It felt like a plane crash. And everything slowed down. My dad was like not even looking at the road anymore, just like wheel as far as he could go, just saying, my brakes are out! My brakes are out! We were screaming. I was holding on to anyone around me, and we just barely fucking got around this corner without going off the edge. I have never clenched my fucking butthole tighter than that fucking moment. My dad like pulled the van into like a fucking ditch. There was a sandstorm too now. We had to call like AAA while we're on a mountainside in a sandstorm next to Mexico, knowing that the cartel loves to kidnap people that break down on this road. And that's the first time I ever almost died. So that happens a lot. Somehow we got a sponsorship for this video. The Mints Viter Energy, they hit me up and they were like, hey. So I guess I'm supposed to tell you what I think about them. So I'm gonna try one right now. My dumb hands will work. Tastes like a mint. So you didn't fuck up, Viter Energy. Good job. You don't have to buy this. No one's gonna sponsor. Brand friendly. This next story is honestly one of the most defeated times in my life that I ever felt. When this happened to me, I almost just kind of felt like giving up and not doing music anymore and just kind of throwing in the towel and going and working at Wendy's or whatever one does when they fail. I'm not saying if you work at fuck.
Damn it.
Anyway, we're in Florida on tour. We stop at a mall called Centennial or Century, something like that. Mall? Fuck that mall. We are gone not 15, I swear it was 15 minutes. We go to Starbucks and we come back out. Maybe that was where we went wrong. I don't know. Starbucks. We come back and one of the locks on the trailer door is gone. We're like, God damn it. We forgot to fucking take the puck locks off cause we'd sit them on the like wheel well when we were like loading suitcases in the morning. We thought that we had not put them back on the door and drove off and we lost them. We're like, cool, that'll be another 15 fucking dollars, 20 bucks for another puck lock. We drive another 20, 25 minutes to the venue and we start loading in. We open the back of the trailer and start taking amps out and like bringing them in. And the way that we had the trailer stacked is that it was all the amps and then behind that were the guitars and the luggage and all that shit. We get everything loaded in. One of us goes out to the trailer to like, you know, start bringing guitars and that kind of thing in. I remember one of my bandmates was like, who brought the guitars in already? And we're like, what are you talking about? And he's like, the guitars are gone. So are the suitcases. We're like, what? They're gone? We thought maybe one of the venue hands had like taken it, hadn't said anything to us and started loading shit in for us. So we're searching the venue and everyone's like, no one did that, no. Check the security cameras, no one was fucking with the trailer, nothing. Everything's gone. All our guitars, all our luggage, everything I owned in the world was gone. I didn't know where it was. So we call the cops, we have to file a police report. He starts talking to us and he's like, so where were you during the day before this happened when you noticed this stuff? We tell him the story about the puck lock and we mentioned that we were at this mall. And he's like, oh, yep. He's like, crime syndicate, totally got you. These like organized crime gang literally just prey on cars in the parking lot of this mall. And they just bust shit out and steal it. So he was like, you probably got targeted the second they saw you pulling into that mall. And it's almost impressive because we were gone for 15 fucking minutes and they drilled through a fucking puck lock and grabbed a ton of stuff. 10 guitars, 8 suitcases that were huge, some merch, all sorts of shit. It was crazy. Like that's honestly impressive. So fuck you, but good, tight. Good job. We literally had to borrow gear, guitars and stuff from the other bands on the tour at that show, and cop told us like, you know, you're probably not gonna get any of this stuff back. Like it's probably like the serial numbers are probably in Miami by now and it's gonna be in some pawn shop tomorrow and you'll never see it again. And you know, they had taken 2 of my basses that meant the world to me and you know, all the clothes that I owned in the world and a laptop and it was horrible. It was the worst I've ever felt in my life. I'll never forget, this is just a nice sad ending of the story. I'll never forget after the show that night we went to another mall, not that one fucking mall, because fuck that mall, Centennial Mall I think. We had to buy clothes because we only had the clothes that we were wearing. I just remember like walking around this mall feeling like a zombie. There was no one in the mall, a lot of the lights were off, a lot of the stores were closed, just thinking how could anyone do this to another person? Like it just didn't make sense. Still don't have an answer. So yeah, that was a sad story. This last story is short, but honestly pretty weird. I can't explain it to this day. I have no idea what the fuck happened. I'm kind of a big skeptic when it comes to like ghosts or like spiritualist people or witchcraft or that kind of thing. Don't haunt me if it's real or curse me. If you are a witch and you're like, oh, that fucking kid needs to learn a lesson, don't do that. That'll ruin my day. This was years ago as well. We're going to play a show in a town called Hermiston, Oregon. Check that out on Google Maps. And this was when the band was so tiny, not that the band ever got big. We were playing at this place called the
Grim Den.
Come to find out, we didn't know this at the time, but Hermiston, Oregon is actually just an exit on a highway that has a Holiday Inn, a gas station, a cattle processing plant, and a giant trailer park. We're driving to the venue. We're about 30 minutes away. We get this call from a random number and I keep like not answering it. They keep calling, they keep calling, they keep calling. Finally I answer it. I'm like, hello? It was this woman who apparently was like a mother or related somehow to a fan of ours. She claimed to be a witch. She was like, I don't know you. I don't know anything about your band. I know my daughter loves you. I practice this form of witchcraft or whatever. She was like, don't go to this show. Something bad will happen to you. And I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to fuck with you. Something bad will happen. And I was like, you're fucking weird. Like, you know, being a 16-year-old dick, and hung up on her. So sorry if you're watching. Don't curse me, please. We take the exit past the cattle processing plant into this trailer park. And it literally looked like fucking apocalyptic. There were like kids, dirty, ripped clothing kids running through the street, like on broken bikes. And like as we drove past the van and trailer, they were just like standing there on the side of the road looking at us. And we're like, oh, this is fucked up. There was like a 3-legged dog in a yard that like started coming towards the van as we stopped. We were just like, this is fucked. This is fucked.
This is fucked up.
Witch was right, the witch was right. And this guy, who I guess was the promoter, starts coming out because we text him. We're like, hey, we're here. Where the fuck is here? This guy starts coming out of this house and he has a shotgun on his shoulder. And he's just looking at us, not like, oh, hey, I booked your show. I'm gonna be friendly. This guy was being fucking weird and like slowly approaching us and looking at us weird. We got the hell out of there. We were like, fuck this, let's go. Turn around. The guy goes like, what are you doing? Like, like, it's weird that you're leaving. Like, everything's normal. That was a weird thing that happened. I still don't believe in that shit, but good looking out, witch lady. Thank you. That's the end of the entertaining part of this video, if it was it? Please subscribe, like, comment. I respond to every comment. Really trying to grow this channel. So your support is appreciated. Help. I know this was another quick video. I have a lot of stories. I love to talk. I love to this is kind of therapeutic to vent to a camera. I'm still working on some of my kind of, I think, funnier videos. I don't think this video was very funny. I don't think my other videos are all really that funny because they happen to me. So I don't, you can see that humor in everyday situations, but I don't think they're that good. So I'm working on some videos that I really think are funny right now. They'll be coming soon, I promise. I do want to know, like, my channel's whole thing years ago was that, like, I always like to make fun of people. And getting older, I realized that that's just fucking dumb and, you know, it's stupid to hate on people or whatever, but I really want to roast someone. So, really want to roast someone or something. So, throw me suggestions down below, people that deserve me ripping them apart, because I would love to do that. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Your support means the world to me. And look at that, we're at week 3. We're almost at a month now. Fuck everyone that said I wouldn't do this past one video. In most cases, you would have been right, so. Yeah, I hope everyone has a great week. Love you very much. And I will see you next time. Thanks.
Candy paint with the white on top. Lambo doors or the woo up drop. If you busy plotting on what I got, kick in your door and swat you thought. $100,000 on the tabletop. Half price my whip, same price my watch.